People send me ties. Well, it is a somber day here in the White House, and I think across the country. I mean, 1 million deaths. Think about 1 million families, groups of friends who are all mourning, right? Who are all mourning someone who's been lost. So many of those deaths, every one of those deaths, tragic. So many of them preventable. I believe that the best way to honor their memory is to do exactly what you laid out, which is to make sure that we bring deaths from this disease down as much as possible to make it rare. We have the ability to do that now. Well, what we know is vaccines and boosting makes an enormous difference in protecting people's lives. We have treatments now that we did not have a year ago. We have so many capabilities, and we've got to deploy them at full speed and at kind of full capacity to make sure that nobody dies from this disease. I mean, I think we have great treatments, we have great vaccines. They're not 100%, either one of them, and so we can certainly drive death numbers way, way down. I think getting to zero is going to be a challenge. But if the question is, can we manage this disease moving forward in a way that prevents hospitals from getting overwhelmed, that prevents large loss of life, I believe we can. But there are plenty of obstacles and plenty of challenges, the biggest one of which is we got to make sure we have the resources dedicated to doing this. Right? One of the things that we've been talking to Congress about is these tools are great, but only if you have them, only if you can use them. And without support from Congress, it's going to be very hard to continue to protect the American people. There has been a second front on this war. I mean, there's a war against the virus, but the second front is one of the things that I think has made things worse and more difficult, which is the war of misinformation, of people undermining people's confidence in vaccines. That continues to be a challenge for us. I think that continues to plague us. And we've got to continue fighting against that misinformation, building up confidence. That work is not done, and we've got to keep going on that. The life of a pandemic, the metrics you want to track do change. Actually, that's normal. I do think that the critical metrics that we need to be tracking right now are hospitalizations and deaths. That does not mean cases don't matter, doesn't mean infections don't matter. Where we are with the pandemic right now is obviously we have a lot of infections still out there. 70, 80,000 people are getting identified every day. But the truth is that there are a lot of people who are testing positive at home and not getting reported. So certainly we are undercounting infections, no doubt about it. Across the Northeast, we've seen this very large increase in infections. We have not seen a commensurate increase in death that we would have at any other point in the pandemic. And so that, of course, begs the question, why not? What are we doing right? And the Northeast has a lot of people who've been vaccinated and boosted. We're doing a much better job of getting treatments out there with Paxlovid. And when I think out to the future of the rest of the country as this virus spreads, there are places in the country that have far lower levels of vaccination. I worry about what's going to happen there. So we have a lot of work still to do. The pandemic is not over. But we are seeing in places with high vaccination and boost rates a real split between cases and severe illness.